you have an awful lot of affection for children who tell you their truths, and you have to do what you do with their truths, and then weave your way towards something that's going to be palatable in that forum. And you love them. You just get to the point where you have such compassion for them. You know, it's like, if I had anything I wish I could do over is I wish I would have been more loving when I was a younger man to my younger students. I didn't know how. My ego was in it. So in those ways, you know, it's like it's hard to give it up. I will miss the bullet train. I mean, I will miss the intensity of that. But I have to say that for anybody who has an intense kind of work that pulls everything out of them, their family life suffers. I don't think they couldn't. And so I think I look forward to the peacefulness of it. I look forward to the absence of the anxiety surrounding it, the deadline of it, stuff, you know, all of those things are just, they won't be there, and I can do other things. I will go out west and do the swing out west where my nephew lives, my cousin lives, my best friend lives, and my other best friend from college lives, and we will probably do some traveling together, which we haven't done because these people are retired. I got a really good friend of mine who lives in Washington. I called him up the other day and said, hey, I got to tell you something. Where are you? He goes, I'm in Amsterdam. Sitting with my son Joe across the table from me. I said, oh really, what are you doing? He goes, oh, we're going to Paris after this. And I thought, yeah, why wouldn't I want to retire? You know, just to be able to go, I'm going to try to do those kinds of things. So I don't know, it just remains to be seen. I guess I'd say this, another piece of it is my friends are older, and so nobody's going to be here forever. And I think that's important to you know that and act on that. And of course, I love my sister. She's practically my best friend. She's here, but and I love all her children. So wherever they are, I'd go to them. Just that kind of thing. I guess I would say I was a pretty frustrated academy student, and I was preoccupied with other things. Like we had a rock and roll band, and that really was right when the Beatles came out. I was in the hospital with a broken leg, and they were on Ed Sullivan, and I just was hooked. We were just hooked. So I had a lot of kinds of things that distracted away from academy, but I also was able to recognize that there were some teachers who were deeply serious about finding out how to make you tick, what made you tick, and how to get you to respond. And the one that's mentioned an awful lot of the time, Ken Evans, was a guy who you knew he respected. We knew he respected us. And in fact, when I became a teacher, I went back and looked at some of the old files, and I found a comment written by him. And this was the comment, I never forgot it. He said, I'm aware that Bob knows more Latin than he is able to show me. And I thought, I did know more Latin than I was able to show him. And it taught me a lesson. As a teacher, I began to do unconventional ways of assessing kids. And so, but as an academy student, I loved the school. I mean, we had a fantastic time. We had a great class. We were close. It was funny. We were just tight. And there was a big group of us that was tight. So we played on all the sports teams together. And so in that regard, I really did love it. There was a lot of personality in the teachers in the upper school, and a lot of personality in our class. So that suited me. My favorite memory was when we set the state record in the 4x400 that still stands, and it's my favorite memory because I went all the way over to the bullpen where these guys were, and they were sitting there, and I said, I looked at them, and there was one sophomore, Hilsheimer, and then 3 seniors, Clay Hoster and Nathaniel Sutton and Gebby Kenny. And I just remember saying to these guys, you know, like, you've done this whole thing, and Gebby, you've been doing this since, you know, you were in 7th grade, you know, you've been the man, you know, like, this has been it. But I go, what is your legacy going to be, guys? What's your legacy going to be? That's the thing you got to figure out here, okay? And I want you to think real hard about it. And then I remember having goosebumps after I said it, all the way over to when I sat down in my seat in the stands at the finish line. And then they went out, not only did they win it, but they won it in a wonderful way. And John Michael had to drop out of the 800. We agreed on that. I don't think his family was very happy about that. And it took every bit of everything he had in his leg for us to win. And so it was just one of those things where I went, you know, and I said, you know, guys, sometimes the stars line up, and I'm in a position to know, and they're lined up, what's your legacy going to be? And they kind of went. So that was very, very special, and remains so. My coffee cup has their picture on it. Because of all of them, I have better stories than anybody. There are a million stories. If I look through and look in a yearbook and pick out a face, there's probably a story of that kid and something that was pretty rich that happened that isn't like making money. You know, it's a human circumstance and a connection, and I thank them for the connection, all those connections. I thank them for laughing at my jokes. You know, they played along pretty well with me. You know, so I guess that's about it.